everybody and welcome back to the Traxion channel for another brand new video, and today I am going to be playing some Assetto Corsa Competizione. And no, this isn't a guide, this is my first impressions of a major new update which has just come to the game, version 1.8. Now this isn't a major update in terms of car packs and track packs and stuff like that. There is a new car, the BMW M4 GT3, and there is the new liveries for the 2021 GT World Challenge season, but basically what this update is little improvements to every single area of the game. Now I'm not going to sit here and read the changelog because I will be here forever, but lots of things have changed. To summarise, as well as the new BMW, there have been graphic updates, weather updates, physics updates, tyre model updates, UI updates, force feedback updates, multiplayer updates, and general gameplay updates. Now the developers and some other fantastic YouTubers have already covered the changes specifically and what they actually mean for the game. My job today is to give some of these changes a go. Basically, I'm going to drive the new car, I'm going to try and put myself in a situation where these changes will actually make a bit of a difference, and just give you my genuine, honest feedback of what I think, how I find it, whether I enjoy it or not. And yeah, I think that all of these little changes in different areas will make an overall improvement to the game. But maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, I don't know. Let's find out. So the first thing you're going to want to do, by the way, is head into the controls menu and click here on frequency, because as you can see, we now have 400 Hz in the force feedback options. Now basically all this does is increase the detail of the force feedback and increase the frequency of when the signal comes through the wheel. So, I mean, long story short, the force feedback should be a little bit more detailed. So we're going to change that to 400 and we'll go with that. Now you'll also see a difference in the UI when you click on single player, because if I go up to GT World Challenge 2020, this is a lovely new drop down menu. I really like this actually because I found the previous system a little bit messy. So you can see that we've got 2021 up there. If I click on that, we should have all the cars and tracks and everything from the 2021 season with all of the fancy liveries, which is lovely. And there is our new BMW M4 GT3. Now this thing isn't quite as big and cumbersome as the M6. It should be a little bit more nimble. It's still front engine, so I'm expecting it to feel a little bit like the Lexus or the Aston Martin or even the Bentley. We're going to find out specifically what it does feel like, but yeah, in terms of characteristics, I think it'll be more nimble and better change of direction than the M6, maybe not quite as quick in the straights. This is all speculation based on the concept of the car, so we'll see how it actually translates. I want to test out another thing that's changed with the version 1.8 update, and that is the introduction of this thing in the bottom right, Open Series. Now if I click on this, basically what it allows us to do is race multi-class, but not just GT3s and GT4s. We can also include Porsche Carrera Cup in there, we can also include the Lamborghini Super Trofeo cars, and basically tailor it to suit us, which I absolutely love. So I'm going to do a race weekend at Brands Hatch in the new BMW M4 GT3. Right down at the bottom you can see we have opponent car groups, which is what I was talking about. You can basically tailor the classes to suit what you want. So I want more GT3 cars because I'm going to be racing in there. I also want all generations because you can set it between old and new, but I need all because I love the Jaguar, I love the V12 Aston. And we can also set the slider for GT4 cars, Porsche Cup and Super Trofeo. So let's just have a little bit of everything, but mainly GT3. I've gone with the clear preset and I've got variability on 50%. Another thing that's changed, by the way, is the weather. So with the variability, if you set it to 100%, it's going to be more likely now to rain really quickly or dry up quickly. Basically, there's going to be more change. It's going to be less predictable, but it'll happen quicker. So I'm intrigued to see how that plays out in league racing and stuff like that. Okay, we've stuck on the aggressive preset. I'm going to hit drive and we are going to take this BMW out and see what it's made of. So we'll start the engine. Now I've not actually used this Thrustmaster TSXW, hello Porsche, on Assetto Corsa Competizione before. I've tried out the CSL direct drive, I use a G29 at home, have done for a long time, so it's going to be difficult to tell exactly what the changes are in the force feedback, given that it's a new wheel for me, but I should, I've got a lot of time and experience on this game, so I should still be able to feel some of the differences. And you can see the different classes there in the bottom left as well. So I'm number 82, I've not done that box, the white box with the number in it, doesn't have a little triangle, but above me, car number 41, the Porsche, has a little green triangle, and then you've got the blue 42 ahead of that, which is GT4, so that's how you differentiate between the classes. Porsche, get out the way. I'm just going to try and warm up these tyres, get a little feel for the car in the first few laps. We'll try and take this Porsche into Paddock Hill. Understeer. Now that is the tyres taking a little bit longer than I'm used to actually come up to temperature because, okay, it was an aggressive late move. Speaking of aggressive late moves, okay, attempt number 2, and we're going to have a very busy track in this session because we have 27 cars in total. I'm going to need to get some temperature into these tyres, so I'm going to let that Bentley get past me. I think I set the AI to 100, which was maybe a bit brave considering I've not tried the new tyre model or the new physics or anything, but at least I'm giving it a shot. Right, we'll try and follow this old Bentley then. A little bit of oversteer in the exit there. It's just, I can instantly feel it's like the tyres are just not there yet, like they feel hard and cold. Hit the apex through paddock kill. That was okay. Oh, a little bit of understeer in the way, and it's still not quite there. The car underneath me, and you can see there, oversteer in the exit as well. I did actually hear that the tyre model change, that is one of the big things. They do take a little bit longer to come in, and generally lap times as well should be a bit slower than they were before the update. So if you've been watching my track guides and now that the targets that I set have become impossible, I'm sorry, it's not my fault. Understeer again through there, so it's still not quite there. See, that is why I like having the old generation cars in there, because now I can follow this beautiful V12 Aston, or try to follow at least. This car is very much no fuss, no drama. Like, yes, it's got the oversteer and the power, which you'd expect, but nothing snappy or temperamental. It is doing the things I want. It's understeering a little bit, but it's not doing anything unpredictable. It's just doing what you want it to do, just not quite as well as you hope it will. But that is something that will, as I say, I'm not going to judge it until I've done a few more laps. But yeah, so far so good in terms of feeling. I like the sound of it as well. It sounds tight and nice. Okay, I could finally begin to feel that temperature coming in a little bit. On the tyre HUD at the bottom, it's actually showing my front left as being slightly yellow, which would suggest it's overheating. Which is interesting, because I feel like they're only just coming in. But again, this is all my first impressions, first reactions of this tyre model, so I really know nothing about it at this stage. So maybe that's exactly what we do want. 125.4, that's a good few seconds off what I would normally be doing in a qualifying session around here. And there's the understeer again. I can see a Lamborghini Super Trofeo car up ahead, so this is obviously one of the things we want to check out, is what it's like racing with 4 different classes of car at the same time. Now obviously the Super Trofeo car and the Porsche car, the speed difference is not enormous compared to the GT3. You know, the GT4 car is quite a bit slower, whereas the other two are somewhere in the middle. But if you catch them at the wrong place at the wrong time, it will affect your lap. Ah! Hello. Got a really nice view of that beautiful Aston Martin there. Okay, Lamborghini's not going to move out of the way, so we will just go for a move. Oh, too late in the brakes. That is shocking driving. Okay, so there's the first influence of the multi-class racing with the Lamborghini. It forced me to make a move down the inside into the hairpin, and I mean, it was my mistake entirely, but it's the first time I've actually been influenced by the other class. And I think with 4 different classes, it's going to be interesting actually to see how the Porsche and the Lamborghini race, because I'm pretty sure the Porsche will be quicker, but I don't think it'll be by too much. That's my little baby brother. Move. Oh, that's going to screw me up into paddock hill. Still managed to hit my apex, but compromised hugely on the entry. So that's a couple of tenths gone. Let's hit the brakes nice and early this time. Oh, it is a bit understeery this. On the I mean, I'm on the aggressive preset, as I say, so there'll be lots of work to be done setup-wise, but struggling to get those downshifts. It sounds really good in the downshift. You get a nice mechanical noise in your ear. That was terrible there. I seem to be locking up the inside tyre quite easily. Now, one of the things I said at the start of the video is I'd be curious to know whether this update has transformed the game. And I think I'm not really the right person to ask that question to right now, because I've taken a little bit of a break from league racing on ACC. There's a 25.1. I was racing in the SRO series, but since that finished, I've not been doing anything serious on the ACC side. But I think if you ask someone who was, practicing for a big race at the moment, they'd be able to give you a bigger impression of how much things actually changed from the update, because they'll not necessarily be driving this car in that series, They might have started practicing for a race, and then the update happened midway through practice, and they'll have a really good idea of how the cars and the tracks have actually changed. But first impression, no, this thing hasn't totally transformed the game. Like, this feels like ACC, the physics still feel like ACC, the force feedback feels like ACC. It's just subtle things. 2.5 tenths up, I'm still down 12th position, and this is going to screw me over. Look at this. Look at this. No blue flags. Where's Vettel when you need him? I think the cars have slowed down a little bit. You know, the pace is going to be a little bit slower. How I qualified 12th. I think an extra half second would have put me in the top 6, maybe 7th. Not too bad. So because I qualified near the back of the GT3 field and I'm not quite up to speed yet with the update, I think I'm going to just back out, bump the AI down a little bit in terms of difficulty so that I can at least try and charge my way through a little bit and have some proper racing, because I think if I left it like that, even though I could probably get up to the midfield in terms of pace, I would have to make 0 mistakes and chatting to you would be a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to bump the AI down a little bit. So going into the race session, we have had the game crash a couple of times, so I'm just trying it again. Hopefully we'll be okay this time. Let's wait and see. So I've tried changing the car, that hasn't worked. It's now crashed 6 times trying to start the race, so I'm going to change the track, see if it's a Brands Hatch problem. So I've managed to source the problem, and it was actually Brands Hatch as a circuit. So anytime I tried to do a race at Brands, no matter what car I was in, no matter what game mode, if I tried a race, it wouldn't work. So I have jumped in a taxi, and I'm now at Silverstone, and I'm going to race from Silverstone. So I'm going from the very back of the grid. I've turned the AI down, as I was saying, a little bit, just to make it a bit easier. I'm going to try and work my way through the field and win this race. I'm going to be doing a full formation lap as well, because I wanted to try and get some heat into the tyres and demonstrate that. So I've got the GT4s in front of me, so I'm going to have to try and pick my way through them as quickly as possible to try and get up to the front of the field. But I've had no practice now because I'm at Silverstone, so this should be interesting to say the least. Okay, so I'm just doing a little bit of weaving, but I don't want to get cold graining on the tyres, which is basically when you're too aggressive weaving before your tyres have any temperature in them and they actually just wear by the side-to-side pressures too much without the heat. So I do a little bit of soft weaving, and then it's just kind of riding the brake pedal. I did do a race starts guide as well, so you can go and check that out if you want to learn a bit more about this. But yeah, I use the formation lap usually to just get that temperature in the tyres and the brakes, but don't go crazy, basically. Now, of course, with a new tyre model, there might be new optimum pressures to aim for as well. That's always changing, so what you can do is keep an eye on the middle bar of the 3 bars on your tyre HUD. As long as that middle bar is at the same level as your left and right side bars, it means that your pressure, you're in the pressure window perfectly. So the number is obviously important. You will work out what the perfect number is, but it might have changed with the new tyre model. I really don't know the answer to that yet. We're coming up to the green flag now. I've only got 10 minutes, so I need to pick these cars off as quickly as I possibly can. Try and get an optimal start. Riding the brake pedal, waiting for the green. There it goes. Pretty average start. Right, we're going to try and pick off as many GT4s as possible early on. We're already up with the Lamborghinis. Nice and easy into turn 1. Get the power down early in this BMW. Oh, just about make it through. Heading into Maggots and Beckett's. Going to use the brakes. There's some Porsches in with these Lamborghinis as well, which is interesting. Because as I said on the previous run at Brands, they're pretty similar in speed, the Lamborghini and the Porsche. I do think the Porsche will have the edge. Okay, there's another one. We're up into 15th overall. We're almost on the back of the GT3s already. Try and not make contact. They're going to hang it around the outside. I'm going to take position. There we go. Yeah, that is the GT3 Lamborghini. Okay, we're up into 13th place. Hit the brakes into the slowest and most painful complex on the circuit. Carry some speed on the outside line, and there's another move made. And we're up into 11th, 10th in class, 11th overall. There's the final car, and we're past Nick Tandy. We're going to get the Nissan as well while we're there. Okay, the progress has been better than expected on lap 1, I'm not going to lie. So we are already on the back of this GT3 field, and I just need to get to the front in 8 minutes. Now normally in this length of race, I'd be expecting to, your lap times in the race to be hitting 157, something like that, maybe 158s if it's hot. And I think it is quite hot just now. But with this new physics model and tyre model and the aggressive preset, I'd be surprised if I go below 2 minutes or even near 2 minutes on this first little race here. But we'll give it a best shot. Especially with this traffic. It's going to be 205s, 204s I would have thought. Getting the slipstream of our old buddy in the M6, which is punching a massive hole in the air. Well, it's nice to see a McLaren 650 in the grid as well. That's one thing I do like about the customization, the fact that you can select, old cars or new cars or both. I do really like that, because it is fun racing against some of the older GT3s, even if you don't want to drive them all the time. I actually think it's quite fun driving them. Okay, there's your 203, so It's pretty similar to what I expected. We'll get around this bigger BMW. Get the move done through Maggots and Beckets. I was a little bit aggressive on track limits, and I've got a warning there, rightly so. I keep acting as if the old BMW wasn't front-engined, but obviously it is. It's just a bit different to all the other cars that kind of sit in this category, I would describe it as. The BMW was almost in its own category because it was so long. It was a monster on the straights, but it just didn't have the change of direction and the sharpness that the smaller cars have. So for me, it almost felt like a different type of car, even though the layout's the same, whereas this just slots in perfectly with the rest. I think it's going to be a very popular car because it seems quite easy to drive, fairly stable. Obviously, I've not done any work with the setup. I haven't been able to see how fast it is compared to the other cars, but that's not something I'm going to be able to do in this video. Clean, please move out the way. I'm going to have a go into Maggots and Beckets. I'm going to go to the left. Yeah, there we go. Scared them out of the move. Carry more speed than last lap through here. Change of direction's pretty good. It's nimble. On the power, pretty well controlled on the exit. You can see we're now 8/10 up on the Delta. It's nice. It really is a pleasant experience. Let's have a go at this Nissan. We'll try and set them up out of the complex, power down early. You get that little bit of oversteer that you tend to get with these kind of cars, a bit like the Lexus and the Aston on corner exit. There's the Nissan. And we should be up into the podium positions. I get it, the Delta's not comparing me to my 2 minutes dead. I was thinking it was a bit too good to be true to be gaining that much time. Oh, hello. I was so busy looking at the lap timer, I completely forgot that I was actually defending my position from the Nissan. Fair play, good attempt. It did ruin my lap, but we got away with it. The game, as I say, hasn't transformed. It is definitely better, it feels nice. I can feel the little nuances, and it's just in a really good state, but it's not transformed. Third place, we got our 59 in the end, I believe. 159.2. So yeah, I mean, pace-wise it's difficult to compare. Normally I'd be hoping, as I say, for 57s, 58s in those conditions, but the car just reacts nicely, does what I want it to, and I'm happy with that. It was good fun as well. So that is going to be it for me today, but I want to know what you think of Assetto Corsa Competizione version 1.8. So make sure you leave us a comment, let us know your thoughts. Do you notice the changes? Do you like them? What do you think of the BMW M4? I think a lot of you are going to love that car. But yeah, if you want to catch more ACC content as well, make sure you subscribe to the Traxion channel because we have all sorts of guides and assistance and everything to get you going on the game. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to see the videos as they are released. But until I see you next time, keep it pinned. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.